Hello audiophiles of the internet, and welcome once again to Audio 46, your headphone destination. My name is Franco, and today we will be doing another IEM review, this one from Chinese company Kinera. This company boasts an impressive line of IEMs that always bring something interesting to the table, both in terms of their look and their sound. This is the Kinera Freya, and we are going to break down everything you need to know about it right now. So without any further ado, let's talk headphones. The first thing we're going to take a look at here is the box. Right off the bat, the box sets the tone here with its immediately arresting and trademark hexagonal shape. The color scheme here is a really gorgeous blending of blues, purples, and pinks that looks like it might be right at home in a visual art exhibit. Clearly, this is a company that is never going to skimp on any aspect of presentation, and as such, they included a generous amount here upon delivery. When you pop open the box, you'll first see some paperwork, including a manual, and also a couple of notes, which go pretty above and beyond the standard here, but more on those in just a bit. When you open the top of the box, you'll see several different compartments that contain all of your various components, including your IEMs, 3 pairs of Kinera ear tips, small, medium, and large size, your carrying case, an attachable 1/4-inch adapter, a cleaning tool, and most uniquely, an attachable USB-C dongle. There is also a second Apple-compatible dongle inside the case as well. The case itself is unsurprisingly also quite nice looking and continues the color scheme of the box and the earpieces. It is water and shockproof to provide for the ultimate safety to your IEMs, and lined with microfiber on the interior to keep them pristine for long periods of time. It also has some stitching throughout that you can see here and is a compact circular shape. Inside is the other dongle that I mentioned, as well as 5 extra pairs of Final Audio Type E ear tips, which is a really great inclusion here. Now to return to those notes in the packaging that I set aside just a moment ago so that we can talk about some design. These are easily some of the most intricate and artistic looking earpieces I have come across in any IEM. One of the notes included here describes the design philosophy and concept behind the Freya in some pretty interesting and exacting detail. Freya is a figure in Norse mythology who is the goddess of love and beauty. Each of the colors on the housing is hand-painted and represents a specific trait of the goddess, including red for beauty, purple for tenderness, gold for fearlessness, and so on and so forth. According to the paperwork here, each earpiece takes approximately 3 hours to paint by hand, so each model has a bit of variation, making it truly one of a kind. The second note here is a personal message from the lead artist and designer of the Freya, who breaks down the process for creating the design in even more detail. So clearly this was a big emphasis for this product and this model. Now, when I first actually put these in, the first thing that I noticed is that the earpieces themselves are quite large. The housing is made out of a nice feeling high quality resin plastic, and they are fairly bulky and definitely stick out somewhat. The nozzle is also what I deem to be a little larger than the usual, so it can be a little tricky slipping the different ear tips on and off. But this also of course means that they won't fall off on their own, so this is a trade-off here. Despite their size, I found the shape of the earpieces to be pretty ergonomic, and the weight here is extremely light. I don't have an exact figure, but it is very easy to forget that these are in after a while, as they just do not have any kind of heft to them, which makes them very easy to wear, especially for long periods of time. They did not bother me at all. The cable is nothing notable, just a pretty solid stock braided cable that you could easily replace if you are so inclined. It features a 2-pin connection and does contain high purity copper for low noise, high signal transmission. As for the tech on the inside here, the Freya is a hybrid model, which means that it contains a mix of different kinds of drivers. This is a little unusual, as typically in a model like this, you are more likely to see 5 drivers. The Freya utilizes a single 7mm microdynamic driver to handle its low-end frequencies. This is a special driver patented by Kinera, which represents one of the smallest ever dynamic drivers to be used in an IEM. The other 3 drivers are balanced armature drivers, 2 of which will handle the mid-range frequencies and 1 of which handles the high end. The Freya utilizes an internal crossover to distribute frequencies between these drivers and retain the sharpness and definition of each of the bands that correspond to them. The frequency range that these put out is a very standard 20 Hz to 20 kHz, and the output impedance is just 22 ohms, so they will be very easy to drive and put out a great robust sound, even if you are not using an amp. Now let's move on to the sound quality, starting as always with the sound stage. The stage here is adequately rich and spacious with a good amount of projection that extends to just beyond the ear pieces. This leaves plenty of room for good instrument separation and a very nice layer of frequency bands that keeps everything in its space and feeling audible, yet distinct. Even elements like big clusters of orchestral strings will have a distinct identity and space here. The low end here feels satisfyingly robust. Driver not sacrificing any weight or thump here. If I had to describe the character of the low end here, I would say that the sub bass feels a little more rolled off in favor of a more prominent and pronounced mid bass focus. Low end, like bass guitars and electronic synths or kick drums, were still very hefty. They just also had a good amount of clarity and articulation here that kept them being more smooth than they are growly, which may not satisfy some bass heads. As you might expect, given the driver setup that I described for this unit, the mid-range frequencies is really where the Freya shines the most. All mid-range frequencies are given a bit of a forward push here, which really accents and brings out fine, crisp details in fundamental elements like rhythm section instruments or lead vocals. In something like Rose-Colored Boy by Paramore, which features a lot of really busy mid-range electric guitar parts along with some synths and edgy female vocals, each of these elements asserts itself in a way that is pronounced, but maintains a really pleasant balance and mixed interlay between them. Material that is really heavily overdriven or distorted may peak out a bit too much here, but overall this was a quality to the signature that I really enjoyed. In a bit of a contrast to this bold quality of the mid-range, the high end here is a little softer and seeks to smooth out any hard edges of the frequency range. The quality is generally very airy and light, as opposed to something that is more crunchy or high impact. There's still a great amount of fidelity and presence of detail, but those looking for a strong sense of sparkly extension may find upper range vocals and instrumental touches to be a tad too ephemeral here. The high end is definitely more focused on being open than it is extended. If there is one thing that a model named the Freya absolutely needs to achieve, then that is beauty, and there is absolutely no doubt as to whether or not Kinera achieved that here. This is a truly unique and aesthetically striking unit that also provides a pleasant sound signature that is sure to please fans of hybrid units. These will be great for you if you love the one-of-a-kind design, you like strong but articulate and smooth bass, and you want a great amount of mid-range prominence and definition. These may not be for you if the size of the housing is a deal breaker, or you want some more explicitly emphasized as opposed to more balanced low end. So, what do you guys think of these IEMs? Do you like the look? Do you hate it? Does the sound signature sound appealing to you? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you never miss another video from our channel. If you want to find out more about these or any other headphones that we sell, then don't hesitate to visit our website at audio46.com to check out our blogs and other reviews. And as always, if you happen to be in New York City, then please feel free to stop by our brick and mortar store on 46th Street, come say hello, and try out some headphones for yourself. All right, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Franco, once again with Audio 46, your headphone destination, and I will see you all very soon.